Part 1, The Day We Shared Silence. Back then, silence wasn't my enemy. It was the only thing I trusted. Being deaf meant that people didn't lie with their words, they lied with their faces. Their half-smiles. Their pity. Their mouths moving too fast for me to catch. So I stopped trying. I watched instead. I studied. And then I met him. I found him crying behind the gym building, shoulders shaking, eyes puffy and red. A younger me would have walked away. But something about him felt familiar. Raw. Like the same kind of lonely I'd lived with for years. I reached out and tapped him on the shoulder. He turned, startled, and stared at me. I pointed to my ears and shook my head. No words. Just truth. His eyes widened. Then he signed, hesitantly, "You're deaf." I nodded. He hesitated, then signed again. Me too. That was the first day I met Calix. Part 2, the only voice I heard. We became best friends. He was expressive, wild with his signing, sarcastic in the funniest ways. We texted constantly, shared jokes no one else understood, and snuck up to the rooftop after school just to sit and feel the wind on our skin. When the world shut us out, we made our own. He once signed to me, "If you could hear just one thing, what would it be?" I said, "You." He laughed. Part 3, the goodbye we never finished. Then one day, Calix told me his family was moving. His dad had gotten rich, some business deal that went well, and they were transferring to a city school. More opportunities. Better future. He hesitated before signing the last part. They want to try the cochlear implant. For me. It felt like a punch. I'd heard of the surgery before. Risky, expensive. A shot at hearing. A shot at being normal. Will it work? I asked. He shrugged. Maybe. My dad thinks it will. I was scared. Not of the surgery. Of losing him. Will you forget me? He touched his fingers gently to my chest, signing, "Never." But I did forget something. I forgot that people change when they start hearing the world again. Part 4, 1 year of silence. I texted him after he moved. No reply. I watched his social media grow, new clothes, new friends, big schools with air-conditioned gyms and coffee shops on campus. His photos were full of color, laughter, sound. But I wasn't in them. I told myself it was fine. That he was just busy. But deep down, I knew he had started hearing, and stopped seeing me. Part 5, Familiar Strangers. When I got accepted into the same private senior high as Calix a year later, I thought it was fate. A scholarship gave me a second chance. I hoped maybe, just maybe, this would be our moment to reconnect. The first time I saw him on campus, I paused. He looked different. Confident. Crisp. Surrounded by people who spoke too fast and smiled too wide. I waved, timidly. He walked over, smiled politely, and signed, "You've grown." Then said out loud, "Good to see you." He didn't wait to see if I could understand. Part 6, Silent Distance. The next few weeks felt like watching someone else live in his skin. Calix passed me in the hallways without stopping. Sometimes he'd smile. Sometimes he'd ignore me. He never signed anymore. His friends whispered around him, loud and fast. I saw their eyes flick to me and back. Judging. Curious. Cruel. I once tried to join him in the cafeteria. He laughed awkwardly and said, "There's no space." I looked. There was space. I sat alone that day. And every day after. Part 7, When the World Got Loud. It happened on a rainy Saturday. I woke up to the sound of my fan humming. The soft rush of cars outside. A bird call. My own breathing. I thought I was dreaming. But I wasn't. Tests confirmed it, spontaneous neural repair. A rare, almost miraculous recovery. I could hear again. And the first thing I thought was, I want to tell him. But that changed quickly. Part 8, What I Was Never Meant to Hear. A week later, I passed by his group by the courtyard, headphones in but volume off. A habit from being deaf for so long. They didn't know I could hear. "Why does that guy always stare at you?" one of them asked. Calix laughed. "He used to be obsessed with me. Like, emotionally dependent. Isn't he that deaf kid you told us about?" "Yeah. I hung out with him back in the province. He was sweet, just, always clinging. You know how it is." "You were nice to him?" a girl giggled. "Pity," Calix said. He looked so lost. I walked away before they saw my face. Before they saw how badly I was shaking. Part 9, The Note. I didn't confront him. I didn't cry, either. I just quietly filled out the forms for an international exchange program. A semester abroad. A clean break. A fresh start. A week later, I slipped a folded note into his locker. No name. Just his old nickname on the envelope, Sky Eyes. Calix. I can hear now. I've been able to hear for weeks. And the first words I truly heard were yours, mocking me. I don't know which part hurt more, what you said or the fact that you thought I couldn't hear you. But despite everything, I'm still grateful we met. You were the first person to make silence feel like something beautiful. I'm going away. Not because of you. But because I need to remember who I am without being afraid of what I hear. Thank you for being part of my life. Goodbye. Aaron. Part 10, The Airport. It was quiet at the airport. I sat near my gate, clutching my ticket. My heart wasn't heavy anymore, just tired. Then someone shouted, "Ariane." I turned. Calix was there, out of breath, rain-soaked, and terrified. "You weren't going to say goodbye?" he gasped. I stood slowly. "I did. Check your locker. I got the note." He paused. I deserved every word. I said nothing. He stepped closer. I don't know why I said those things. I think I was scared. Scared of how much I still cared. "You could have just said that," I whispered. He looked at me, softer now, less shiny, more like the boy I used to know. "I missed you," he said. "I missed who you used to be," I replied. "I can be that again. I can do better." I smiled faintly. "I believe you." His eyes watered. "Then stay." I shook my head. "No. I'm going." "Why?" "Because this time, I'm choosing me." Epilogue, Real Goodbyes. We hugged before I left. It wasn't dramatic. No tearful declarations. Just two people holding on to the past for a little longer, before letting it go. "I hope you find someone who hears you the way I did," I said quietly. He held my hand for a moment longer. "Just don't forget me," he said. I smiled. "I won't."